Breaking of bread. This is a small study of the subject of breaking of bread. It is regarding the practice of breaking of bread as understood to be initiated by Yehoshua Messiah. This particular practice of breaking of bread is also referred to as bread and wine, communion, Eucharist, etc. The question I try to answer in this study is, the night before his death, what type of bread did Yehoshua break as part of the Pesah meal that he had with his disciples? To understand the occasion of Yehoshua breaking the bread, these are the sentences from three different writers. The writer Mattai mentioned like this. Verse 17 of chapter 26. On the first day of the festival of unleavened bread, the disciples approached Yehoshua and asked, "Where do you want us to make preparations for you to eat the Pesah meal?" In verse 26 from the same chapter 26. While they were eating, Yehoshua took a bread and blessed it. Then he broke it in pieces and handed it to the disciples. So according to writer Mattai, the occasion of Yehoshua breaking the bread was part of the festival of unleavened bread. The writer Marco mentioned like this, verse 1 of chapter 14. Now it was 2 days before the Pesah and the festival of unleavened bread. In verse 22 of the same chapter 14. While they were eating, Yehoshua took a bread and blessed it. Then he broke it in pieces and handed it to his disciples. So according to the writer Marco, the occasion of Yeshua breaking the bread was part of the festival of unleavened bread. The writer Luca mentioned like this. Verse 1 of chapter 22. Now the festival of unleavened bread, which is called the Pesah, was near. In verse 7 of the same chapter 22. Then the day of unleavened bread came, on which the Pesah lamb was to be sacrificed. In verse 19 of the same chapter 22. Then Yehoshua took bread, gave thanks, broke it in pieces. So according to the writer Luca, the occasion of Yehoshua breaking the bread was part of the festival of unleavened bread. So according to the three different writers, the occasion of Yehoshua breaking the bread was part of the festival of unleavened bread. This would answer the question I was trying to answer in this small study. The question is, the night before his death, what type of bread did Yehoshua break as part of the Pesah meal that he had with his disciples? The answer is, it was unleavened bread. How so? It is because the Pesah meal is eaten on the first night of the festival of unleavened bread. The festival of unleavened bread is celebrated for a duration of a week. Any bread eaten as a part of the meal within the duration of the festival of unleavened bread has to be unleavened bread. This was instructed by Yahweh to Aaron and Moshe to be followed as a perpetual ordinance. So what is unleavened bread? Unleavened bread is the bread made using fresh mixture of flour and water. The flour mixture not being left over for any such duration that it would start to become sour and or raised due to air bubbles forming in it. It would also extend to mean that raising agents, leavening agents, yeast, etc. are not added to the mixture of flour and water. Because of it being unleavened, the bread would not be sour, would not be raised, would not be puffed up. So watch out what bread you are using as part of following the practice of breaking of bread. So that concludes this small study.